Alright folks, welcome to another beer review. Trying to do something interesting with the backdrop, but interior decorator I am not. And I think these are just more of a distraction than anything else. But we can all do with a nice distraction every now and then. So today we're going over to Finback out of New York. And this is a can of Citra Drip, which is a double IPA, and I can't read what that says there. So it's basically a double IPA brewed with Citra, which is fine by me. Yeah, had quite a lot of Finback come in quite recently, as of recording this anyway. I think some of the bottle shops obviously got some, especially if they've got the good connections. Track brought a few in, as well as some like rare bottles, and I picked this up from Dead Crafty in Liverpool. Don't know how much I paid for it. I was a little bit pissed, and I learned two things that night. One, don't go to a fridge in a craft beer bar when you're pissed, or else I've not even looked at how much I spent just on the stuff from the fridge, to be honest. All I'm going to say is I was definitely in my overdraft this past month. Not just because of this, just because I've got terrible spending habits and I spend a little bit too much money on stuff like OnlyFans. But we won't go into that any further. And another thing that I learnt was, now just look at me, right? Me as a person, aesthetically, and look what I'm doing. I'm sat in front of a camera doing a beer review. I've got fucking fairy lights on the wall. I've got these baubbly bastards on me plush t-shirt container. Don't know what you call it. So it's very rare that I match with attractive women on dating apps, which I did, and it was going very well. But whilst I was drunk in Liverpool with my good friend Adam from Maze Beers, decided I'd give her a message. Don't worry, nothing like that. I'm not that way inclined. But basically, just show you how little game that I actually have. And now she's not messaged me for a couple of days. She could be busy, or she could just realise what an utter twat I am. But I accepted that a long time ago. But anyway, so yeah, don't go to the beer fridges in a bar when you're already pissed, and don't message a girl you're trying to get into whilst you're also pissed, because you'll just come across as a desperate young boy, which I very much am, even though I'm 33 years old. But I do look like I'm in my early 20s because I've got a good skincare routine. I don't really. I think my weight stretches the skin out, so it's fine. And yeah, always being self-deprecative again. It's a coping mechanism. But yeah, I've enjoyed stuff that I've had from Finback up to this point. And when I saw a Citra double IPA, I thought, oh yes, please. And I think they are like just a few weeks old. It doesn't actually... Does it have a packaged on date? I suppose I could use the light now. That just shows the ABV. Yeah. So it's a little bit fresh. A fresh drip. Citra drip for this big drip. And tell you what, the light has really captured this beer beautifully, hasn't it? Yeah, it's exactly what you'd imagine an American New England style double IPA to look like. It looks thick and creamy, just shy of 2 fingers worth of a white creamy head. Oh, it's a thick boy like me. Anyway, let's see what we get on the nose. It's got this like genuine sort of like creaminess to it. How do I best describe it without making it sound like it's lactose, because there's clearly no lactose in this, or at least I don't think there is. Yeah, it's just like, it smells like almost like a meringue character to it, but with a really nice amount of citrusy ness. Now it's breathing in the glass, those hops are coming out a little bit more. Oh, but man, that smells absolutely textbook, doesn't it? A little bit of lemon, a little bit of lime, hint of grapefruit as well. It's just aroma-wise showcasing that classic Citra hop, and it smells absolutely gorgeous. Don't know what the ABV is. I'd imagine it's around the 8 point something %. But anyway, let's give it a taste. Cheers, folks. That is very good. That's very good indeed. Body is just lovely and creamy. Really soft mouthfeel as well. It's got this, it's flavoursome yet gentle in relation to the hoppiness. And if you're a fan of Citra hops, it's exactly what you want with Citra. Really nice, slightly sweet, lemony character. There's a tiny bit of lime-like sharpness. Grapefruit bitterness on the back end. Beautiful, rounded, soft, creamy mouthfeel. There's a reason why when these beers make their way to the UK, which is a lot more regular and a lot more common now. I mean, there's whole websites, you know, dedicated to importing some really hard to find American beers for the British market. Yeah, it's not that long ago, just to be able to get hold of something like this, you probably have to pay out your arse for someone who's already got loads of money to do like a trade, or they've got contacts who live like a couple of minutes away from the likes of Finback, Treehouse, Other Half, Bissell Brothers. Stop name dropping. You're making yourself look daft. But now, you know, your local web shop or local bottle shop has a good chance of getting these sorts of beers in. That being said, and this is a point that I always like to promote, I'm not patriotic. I do wholeheartedly agree with, you know, support national and local. Don't support national. That can be taken completely out of context. But completely lost my train of thought. Went down the National Front direction there for a second, unintentionally, of course. The National Front is the Nazi front, and I've said Nazi in a beer review. It is like a lemony sort of cake for me, this, without it being like ridiculously sweet. There is a little bit of sweetness there. But the point I was trying to make was, I'm not one of these people who just blindly supports local. I'll give someone local a chance. If I'm not the biggest fan of it, it's like anything really. If I don't like something, a lot of the time I don't want to go back. Do you know what I mean? But in that same breath, we're absolutely knocking it out of the park with these sorts of beers. Not to take anything away from the likes of Finback and stuff like that, because they're an amazing brewery. I'd be hard pressed to say even a boring beer that I've had from these guys. But I could name you a few British breweries who could brew this beer. That being said, one thing that I will always stand by when it comes to like American, especially double and triple IPAs, is they still sort of like consistently lead the way when it comes to mouthfeel, body, consistency, that sort of stuff. And I'm very glad that I picked this beer up, because I'm a big fan of Citra. I really like Finback. I would happily have more of this. But I take comfort in knowing that there are breweries around the UK who are producing stuff that's comparable, if not in some cases surpassing these sort of like heavy hitter hype sort of breweries. But again, don't want to take anything away from Finback. This is a beautiful beer. If you like your Citra hops, you're going to love it. I'm not going to lie, getting a little bit bored of double IPAs. I've been really enjoying lower ABV pales a lot more, because I'm always interested to see how like a 4% pale ale, how a brewery can like just throw so many hops in a good way, treat the water nicely, give it a nice mouthfeel. But this is what these guys know how to brew, and boy have they brewed a wonderful, wonderful beer here. So yeah, that was my review of Citra Drip from Finback. Overpronounced the letter P at the end there, but we're not all perfect. And yeah, it's just so delightful and drinkable, and it's getting a little bit romantic, this, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? I mean, I'm open to pegging, but you know, it's what was that? Sorry. Yeah, this restaurant is nice, isn't it? So where do you work again? I see you've got a good relationship with your sister. How long have you known your sister? Acting. Anyway, go check out Finback. Go check out Dead Crafty if you're in Liverpool or in the surrounding areas. If you've tried this, let me know your thoughts, opinions down below. I don't like this camera angle. It's not doing my misshapen body any favours. But I'll just end this review, take a thumbnail, and just cry, wank myself into oblivion until the morning comes. Anyway, cheers for watching, folks. You all take care, stay safe, and I shall hopefully see you all later. Cheers. Need to remember to take out the intro of me turning the camera on, and well, I've got to keep it in now because I'm talking to the camera, but anyway, go away.